The point is that the money has to be found. The commitment was made before we went into office. We're honouring that. And the key point again is this. It's not about anything other than your town and your city and your county. And this is the only way it'll get better if you can pay for this.
Let's talk to some people in the audience. Lots of people interested in talking to us in the audience. Let's say hello to Brendan Burgess from askaboutmoney.com. You started a campaign, Brendan, to encourage people to pay the property tax, or at least the household charge. Why?
Yeah. Well, I was tired of listening to people, particularly our public representatives, telling people to go and break the law of this country.
People like Luke.
People like Luke. I mean, I was shocked that people were doing that.
He says he's not telling people to do that. He's advising them on his opinion, which happens to be he's not going to pay it.
I don't know about Luke's particular position, but as far as I understood it, he was telling people to break the law, and certainly a lot of other people. There's a campaign out there telling people to break the law.
And you say pay it because...
Well, I think there are three reasons why. There are three reasons why I've paid the tax and why I think other people should pay.
Reasons,
but the first reason is the reason which the Minister outlined. We do need to pay for local services, and that payment should be coming from the area in which it's spent. The money should be raised locally.
Keep it local. Point two, I have to keep going.
Okay. Sorry. Point two is that I'm a citizen of the country. I'm prepared to pay my share of the cost of running the country.
Wear the jersey. Yeah. Okay.
But point three is I'm living in a democracy. There's an awful lot of things about this country and this government's decisions which I do not like. But the way to deal with that is to lobby to have those changed. And there is a consultation process on the tax. People should input into that. But in the meantime, they should pay it. And they shouldn't be advocating to other people not to pay it.
Jim Kelly of the Unite Trade. Just some support for you there on that one. Jim Kelly of the Unite Trade Union. You're advising your members to do what, Jim?
We're saying don't register for this charge.
Does that mean don't pay it?
It means don't register because you're resisting paying it, yes.
So just clarify, don't pay it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we're saying you can't
you're telling how many members have you got?
We've got 60,000 members.
You're telling 60,000 people to break the law?
We're telling 60,000 people, just as being said here, that this is an unfair tax.
Yeah, it's break the law. It's like, I mean, we can talk,
but hold on now. Is it against the law to destroy the country? Because the people who've destroyed this country, that's what's resulting in this household charge.
They're saying they haven't been charged. Are saying they inherited this and therefore they have to play ball.
That's been misleading. What the Minister Noonan has said is that this is not dictated by the EU IMF Troika deal. This is the government deciding this. And he's also said a wealth tax will bring in 500 million, way beyond what they're looking for under this tax. But the campaign is built around people around towns, cities and villages who are saying this is a disgrace, and what's gone ringing around the studio tonight is a government representative saying it's an unfair tax.
Have you paid the charge?
No.
Will you?
I won't.
Under any circumstances?
No.
Jim Power, economist with Friends First. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, here we are, slippery slope. First stop is flat tax, €100. Next stop, incrementally increased. And this is just the beginning, and it's going to get much worse. This is small beer.
Well, I think it's important to recognise that over the last decade, the tax base in the country has been decimated. Hundreds of thousands of workers were removed from the tax net altogether. And the main property tax was based on transactions. And when transactions collapsed, obviously the tax takes collapsed. Two commissions on taxation have recommended that we need to create a more certain and confident way of collecting taxation.
Okay.
And a residential property tax is one way of doing that.
Do you agree with it?
I agree with it totally.
Have you paid your
I haven't paid. I registered early January.
Yeah.
But the other very important point is, I agree with Ming's point about local government. It is totally inefficient. We have 34 in the country. We should probably have 6 based on our size. And at the moment, the bulk of the funding of local authorities is being borne by the business sector.
There's reform on the agenda.
There has been reform. In fact, Minister Hogan has brought about the amalgamation of Limerick City and
Limerick
County.
Happened yet, Fergus.
No, hold on a second. Can I answer your point, please? And we're on the
same
same
quick.
side.
We're on
Limerick City and County Council are joining up as one council. Tipperary North and South County Council are joining as one. Your own county, Waterford, City and County are going
so
to
work in progress.
There is reform,
It
significant reform.
The point being what?
The point being?
The point being that it's a much more efficient, slimmed down administration.
Streamlining is
the...
8,000 workers
if people are really serious, if people are really
serious,
and if Jimmy is really serious about employment creation in the country, we've got to look at the business sector and the burden of commercial rates.
I want to talk to some people who aren't representing anyone.
We've got to broaden the tax base.
Broaden the tax base, and we'll come back to you on that, Minister, but I want to broaden it out to people who aren't vested in anything other than themselves and their own lives. Is Catherine O'Connor here tonight? And Catherine, I want to talk to you briefly. Tell us your story.
Well, I wouldn't pay it because when we built our house, we paid umpteen ties into the local amenities in the council for stuff we didn't have, like water, which we have to pay for that privately.
Yeah.
So.
Is it a cost issue or is it a principal issue?
Principal issue.
Okay. So when the deadline comes and goes, you don't care?
No.
And when they start fining you, you don't care?
Let them fine away.
And when they keep fining you and they follow you all the way to the gates of hell, you say?
Let them fine away.
No trouble to you at all?
No.
Okay. Elizabeth Coote, will you be paying the household charge?
I will not be paying the household charge.
Why not?
Simply because my husband is sitting here beside me. He's aged 80.
Yes.
I'm 72.
Yes.
I have always paid everything. Everything.
You've paid by the rules?
I've always paid by the rules.
What's wrong with this charge?
This charge, for me, is very important, not for my generation, but for the generation that are behind me. For instance, my children, who are all in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And for their children behind that, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, the 40, 50-year-olds are the ones that are hit most,
yeah.
in my opinion. Because I see my own children, I have 4. There are a couple of my children that are fine. They're in work and they're doing well.
Will they pay it?
They will not pay it.
They won't pay it?
No. I have other children that need support. In a family, when there are a couple of people in the family need help, who helps them? The grandparents. Old age pensioners, and at the moment, are terrified of this charge.
Of this charge?
I've heard it.
What are they so scared of?
They're scared in the sense that if they don't pay it, they'll be in trouble. They've always paid, so we must pay. I am saying, don't pay it simply because, like I say, my children are paying for everything.
But Elizabeth,
Schools,
you'll be charged, you'll be fined.
I don't mind. I will go to prison for it simply because the schools, children in the schools...
You don't even have to mention prison because we've heard tonight it's not an issue, not an option.
OK, it's not an issue.
But I know what you're saying.
I will not pay it.
Michelle Hand, thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Michelle Hand is here. Where are you, Michelle? Will you be paying the property charge?
No, I won't. No.
Why not?
We're married. We both have relatively good jobs.
Good.
We can't afford to live as it is at the moment. We're struggling to pay our mortgage, to pay our bills. We have no more money to give the government. We've taken cuts in our wages. We can't give them any more unless we actually give them our wages. We have nothing else to give.
Is that you're at the end of your tether?
Yeah,
People
and
keep
I'm not
saying
giving
this
them anything else.
People keep saying that, you know, that this is the final straw, potentially. Is it the money or the principal? Is it the €100 for the year?
It's
or
both.
The both?
Both. We already paid 19,000 7 years ago on our house. We had a house before that. We paid 6,000 on that. They've got enough. They've got enough taxes off us for their amenities and everything else, and we're paying no more.
But the minister, well, okay, Margaret McCormick, you're from the Irish Property Owners Association. You represent landlords here tonight. Will landlords of Ireland be passing this charge on to tenants?
Some landlords will.
Some will. So how do you decide which do and which don't?
That'll be up to individual landlords. It'll depend on the lease agreement that they have in place. But they're in such bad state. The buy-to-let sector is in bits. They're already paying the NPPR.
Yeah.
That's €200. A house in units is paying 200 per unit. So we have.
Will you pay the household charge?
No.
No. Why not?
I think it's unfair.
Well, we've been told by the minister himself it's unfair, but that's life. I mean, the Troika here, they're breathing down our neck. The government is saying we've no money left. They need the dough. What do they do if you refuse to pay?
I think that they get enough from the tax. They already had the money to pay it previously.
But they don't have enough. That's why they're doing it.
No, they already had the money. The money was there before to pay for the local services.
I want to go.
So it's still there.
One more person, Helen Gagan, who's here. Helen, how are you?
I'm fine.
You've had a tough week.
I have, yeah. I lost my job this week.
How are you getting on?
Thankfully, I got another job today. So.
Oh well, congratulations. Well done. Well, okay, so you had an ill wind, you have a good wind. The minister will be delighted to have a new job now because you can afford to pay the household charge.
And I did. I actually signed up earlier this month to pay it.
And why did you do that?
Because it's just a tax that's going to have to be paid, and I'm not willing to go to court or stress or look at fines or wait for the postman to come with a letter through my door telling me...
Do you think you'll feel it vis-a-vis local services?
I hope so. But I don't know, time will tell.
And do you feel better that you've paid it? Is that the point?
It's €2 a week. You know, I mean, it's not going to.
Luke Flanagan, it's €2 a week. A woman lost her job and got a new job in 1 week, and she's saying it's €2 a week.
If you don't pay it by Christmas, it's only $2.40 a week. So nothing to worry about.
I would say. I would hate to be dismissive of the lady's point.
I'm not being dismissive. The thing that's been said by the government is, sure, it's only €2 a week. And then they're saying you'll accumulate loads of fines if you don't pay it. Well, the answer is it's only $2.40 a week by Christmas.
But look, Helen isn't the government.
Helen isn't the government. Fair enough. But you're on about raising extra taxation.
I'll let Luke have his point, and then I'll let you, Fergus.
You're on about raising extra taxation. The super wealthy in this country are not taxed enough. We have a major problem. In the United States of America, the most important capitalist state in the world, you have people like Warren Buffett looking to pay more tax. Who do we have in this country? We have Dennis O'Brien. He doesn't even pay his bloody tax here. Like, why doesn't that change?
Okay. I think he's not here to defend himself, as you know, but the point is, I'm going to give you the last word.
I want to make the point that this is our country, it's your country, it's my country. We don't have the money to do the things we want to do. We have to raise more funds. We have to raise this locally. And I laud the people who are paying it. And I understand, again, the fears and upset people have about it.
Let me give you the details of a poll that we did with our audience. Okay, 200, utterly unscientific, I'll admit, but 200 souls from around the country who came in tonight. We asked them, would they pay, would they not? Here it goes, roughly speaking. 16%, 1/6 said, yes, we'll pay it, and I've paid it. 13% said, I haven't, but I intend to. That's your 29% there in total. 25% said, not applicable, so that takes another chunk.